We are dedicating this space, which we're calling Montgomery Square. And we created this space to honor the 50,000 Black people in this community who in 1955 committed to staying off the buses for 382 days. It was people in this community who gave birth to the civil rights movement. And we want to honor them and celebrate them. This is also a day when we want to celebrate our young people. We want to celebrate the future because we know to achieve the justice that we still are seeking, another generation is going to have to keep on keeping on. They're going to have to keep on fighting. They're going to have to keep on struggling. They're going to have to keep on singing.
Montgomery Square is more than a site. It's an invitation, a call to reflect, to learn, and to listen. EJI has not only reshaped the cultural and emotional landscape of Montgomery, it has reshaped the very soul of our city.
The buses were the place of unavoidable humiliation and degradation. Too many people who worked as maids and cooks and domestic workers didn't have a choice but to take the buses, but this constant humiliation, this constant suffering, this constant degradation was weighing on this community. Finally, in 1955, people had had enough. And then on December 1, an extraordinary woman named Rosa Parks was in the same situation. And they asked her to give up her seat, and she told us later that she was thinking about what had happened to Emmett Till in Mississippi. She was outraged by the absence of justice for this child's tragic murder. She was outraged that the men who bragged about killing that young child could be held without any accountability. And she said when she thought about him and she thought of Mamie Till's courage and insisting on an open casket, she said, that day I wasn't going to move. She was arrested. She was charged, but this time the community said, we can't take it any longer. The whole community said no. And they started organizing, and the word went out that there was going to be a boycott. And they engaged a young minister named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had just become the pastor of Dexter. And they said, we've got to get together and commit ourselves to challenging this. And that was the moment that the people in this community did something unprecedented. And I want you to understand that in 1955, no organized resistance of this sort had ever worked. And over the next 382 days, people walked and they went by carpool and they went by mule and they committed to staying off the buses. And that was the spirit that inhabited Black people in this community. And because of their activism, they birthed this civil rights movement.
We shall overcome. We shall
And so people committed themselves to changing America. They were beaten and bruised and battered and bloodied, but they did not give up. And then eventually, thousands made the 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery. They came right down this street where we're sitting now. This was the path of the march. They went to the Capitol, where Dr. King said, we're on the move now. A few months later, the Voting Rights Act was passed, and that changed everything in America. This Black mayor who's sitting here is a consequence of what happened on Montgomery Street in 1965. We have hundreds and thousands of elected officials, and not only that, but for every person in this country, America became more just. We became more like a nation committed to equality, more like a nation committed to liberty, more like a nation committed to justice. And that's what we've come to do today, to dedicate this space to honoring the spirit, the lives, the courage, the tenacity of all of the Black people in this community that did change America. But we've come to do something else, to say to America that we've come too far to turn around now. And I feel the need to tell you that that's what we're also saying, because there's a chilly wind blowing across our country right now. And there are people talking about the moment that we're in, and a lot of them don't believe in racial justice. They don't believe in equality. They've stopped believing in civil rights. They're doing things to kind of hide the history of our struggle. They're taking content out of black museums and cultural spaces. They don't want you to know this history. In some of our schools, they're trying to silence people who are talking about this history. And we, once again, in Montgomery, have to be the community that says no. We have come too far to turn around now. I'm so excited that you're here. So grateful that you've contributed to this moment. It means the world to us at EJI. Mr. Mayor, it means the world to us to have your support. To all of you who are doing everything you can to make this moment meaningful, I want to thank you. But I don't want to end this without acknowledging the courage, the strength of so many people who've made this moment possible. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Thank you for honoring the people who've come before us. We've come too far to turn around now, so we've got work to do. But I think we need to make it clear to the world that today, we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom. Well, ain't gonna let Jim Crow too turn me round, turn me round.